Good day and welcome to Mental Health in You. My name is Cynthia Timms, and this is a show, as you know, should know by now, aimed to help to break down the stigma of mental wellness, especially in communities of color, where it's so needed. Today, I'm very proud and I'm very privileged to have as my guest Sherneice Gatewood.
Sherneice Gatewood.
Sherneice Gatewood, my
Yes.
bad.
It's
Sherneice
okay.
Gatewood. And she is the president and the CEO, the founder of WAPW.
Yes.
That empowers women who are suffering and the victims of domestic abuse.
Yes.
But before we get into this conversation, Ms. Gatewood, Ms. Sherneice, let's show a promo. Let's show what your company is all about. Let's show what this organization is doing.
Thank you.
Women who've gone through domestic violence and sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, and so on and so on.
We do healing workshops. We do support groups. Once again, we do support groups. I don't want nobody getting it twisted. We're not safe horizon yet. One day, hopefully, God, grace, and mercy, we're going to get our own building. And I'm going to keep preaching it until it happens.
You need to get
Yes.
outside help.
That's right.
And one thing is also admitting that there's a problem or that a situation is happening.
I went to therapy, and then my other great therapist is God.
Okay.
I went into church,
Okay.
and I cried so much in church because I knew I wasn't doing right,
Okay.
and I hurt another human being, and this guy was a good person. So what I did, I just left relationships. I left being with somebody, and I stayed focused on Sherneice.
Okay. And that's number one. It's self-love and taking care of yourself.
That's right.
Oh my God, go! Oh, Shane, look out! Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Welcome back to Mental Health in You. And as stated prior, I'm very proud, we're very proud and very privileged to have Ms. Sherneice Gatewood.
Yes.
She is the CEO and founder of WAPW, Women, We Are Phenomenal Women,
That's right.
an advocacy organization dedicated to supporting women and men who have been victims and who are now survivors
That's right.
of domestic abuse.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for being part of the show and agreeing to come on.
Thank you.
I mean, it's so needed, more so than probably we really even realize. And let's start off right there. Why is it so needed, and why is it not? Doesn't get the, the play that it should, domestic abuse.
Well, thank you so much for having me. We don't look at it as, and people don't look at it as a public health problem. It is a public health problem. People just feel like this individual want to stay, or this individual like to get hit, or whatever the case might be. No. We sometimes need to go a little bit deeper into why the individual won't leave right away. It could be threats.
Okay.
It could be the children. It could be a financial issue. It could be a spiritual. It could be a cultural. It's so many different factors why a woman or man stay in an abusive relationship. We just have to have conversations more and let them know there are safe ways to get out of it. And hopefully those people will wake up and say, you know what, enough is enough. And that's where I'm at.
So you're talking about safe ways to getting out of it. Thus, your organization, you started in 2015.
Yes.
And what prompted you? Oh, it's about your story. What did you see around? What was that says enough is enough?
My
And an advocacy group like yours was
yes,
needed.
thank you. Well, remind you, I was 18 years old. I thought I was in love, and he was my protector. And but I found out that I left from out of a abusive home and went into the arms of an abusive person.
Wow.
Because I'm thinking that's the norm. You understand? So, you know, when I went to him at 18.
So that was normal. So
Right.
that's all you knew.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Understand.
and I don't want to put it out there that my mom was, because she was the single parent. I was the oldest, but I was the one who was mostly getting in trouble all the time. So to me, it's like I'm always on punishment. I'm always in trouble. So I didn't really get the chance to share and be a young lady. So when I wanted to be a young lady, I was feeling myself. So I ran away, as they say, and I ran right into the arms of my abuser. And I didn't know he was abusive.
What was there any signs? Were there any, hot spots? Were there any red flags?
At the time, it was just love.
Oh, so
Yeah.
could you say, looking back, that you were
Yes.
blinded by love?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes, I could definitely say that. And a lot of us think because you was in a home that was like this,
Right.
and then you got a parents that would say, I beat you because I love you, and then you hear that, then you get into the arms of someone who say that also, I love you, and you made me hit you, or whatever the case might be. We get it twisted. We don't know what is love. And that is another conversation we need to start having. What is love, and what is love to you? Because now when you get into the arms of your abuser, you think that is love. But you didn't know it was a name out there, which is called domestic violence.
Right.
Unhealthy relationships. So, once again, our organization have conversations. We are a support group. We go out and we speak to people regarding DV, intimate partner violence.
okay.
DV is domestic violence. Then you got the men piece. Men go through it too. I thought it was just women. I thought it was just women that go through it.
Right.
So 18 years old, I get in a relationship with the guy, and I'm in love with him, and he's my protector, and he's making sure I'm all right at all times, but not knowing down the road he was going to verbally abuse me, physically abuse me, even the sexual piece. Sometimes when you don't want to have sex,
Right.
but he wants to have sex no matter what.
So when all of this started to happen, you were a mother by then? Or?
No, I became a mother at the age of 21. And I did not want to have a child because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. But I had my daughter, and as I explained to everyone before, what made me really get out, and enough is enough for me, when he hit me, and my daughter at the age of 3 was trying to get off the bed to come help me off the floor. That was my enough is enough.
So be that as it may, that was your enough is enough. So what was that process like? Was that did you leave and stay gone the first time?
No.
Or, what did that process of leaving, of
I
look
left.
like?
I thought I was leaving for good.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, I'm done with this. But at one, I have a child, and she needed to know who her father was. You know, then I didn't have no place really to go. It'd be times when I didn't have money to feed her.
Okay.
I would call him because he's the dad, you know. So I went back. I went back within the 7 years, each time 7 times. Out of the 7 years, went back and forth. I quit you. I don't want to be with you. Leave you alone and leave and get right back into it again.
So each time you left and you came back, I mean, did anything change? Did he apologize? I'm not going to do it. Was
course.
there counseling? Was there prayer? What, all that?
No, it was him just telling me that he loved me. I'm sorry. I will never do it again. He bought me stuff. You know, we went on trips. And then I was like, the crying, the tears, you know, and in my heart I'm thinking, he's going to change.
Right. So you talked about, so at this point in your life, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're not having much support anywhere else. I mean, so your family, the family that you were born into, they weren't much support, I gather, right? But was there anybody else you felt that you could turn to? A church, a friend, a relative, an organization?
Well,
did you know any other person that was going through this?
No, I thought it was just me.
Wow.
And I just want to correct you. I wasn't a wife yet.
Okay, my bad.
I became a wife recently.
okay. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, I wouldn't marry my abuser. I would not. He proposed to me. I said no. And the reason why I said no is because I was strong enough to say, I'm not going to marry someone who treat me like this now. So in my heart and my soul, I knew I would deserve a little bit more. And that wasn't it. He cried and he was upset. When he proposed, I didn't care. I stood my ground. I said no. However, the person that helped me was my cousin.
Okay.
My cousin was one who constantly told me, you deserve more, you deserve better, we're going to pray together, we cried together, but she was a year older than me. So it's not like I was able to leave from where I was at and go to her house. She was still living in her parents' house. So at that time, I stood there in a small room. His mother didn't even know I was there. I used to pee in a bucket because she did not know I was there.
Your abusers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was in a very small, I guess, a cell-like room, and I had to be quiet. Sometimes he would go out to the store. I couldn't say nothing because nobody knew I was there.
Just back up. I want people to hear this. You were in a cell-like room where you sometimes had to pee in a bucket. That sounds like a jail to me.
I was in prison, right? And that's how most of us feel when we are in that type of relationship. It's a prison that you feel like you will never get out until you have people. And that's still dangerous because we want to help those, but then do they want to help themselves? And sometimes they're not ready to help themselves at that point. As when I was going to school, they said meet the clients where they at.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to meet them where they at and give them just enough until that enough is enough for them. And they say, I remember this young lady by the name of Sherneice Gatewood from We Are Phenomenal Woman said I could reach out to her. You know, sometimes these other organizations may not have the space.
Right.
So this is where We Are Phenomenal Woman is working on getting our own building.
So as I said, that's wonderful. I wish you all the best with that, and you're going to get it too.
Amen.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family?
This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry.
Go long, son!
it's always worth it.
Whoa!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact. on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
2015 forward 2000, and you started this organization out of the need because there was a need for it.
That's right.
And you want people to know, I gather, that you were not alone.
That's right.
So what does the organization do? How do you advocate?
Well, we go out to places like this,
Okay.
and we speak to large masses of audience. We go to the church. I'm so happy and grateful that the churches allow us to go out and speak. We have done, I have my own PowerPoint, so if you want to go to a class of ours, you're more than welcome to do that to get a better understanding of what is domestic violence, because some of us don't know. Some of us feel like it's just a physical aspect, but it's more to the physical. We do that. We have a team of ladies that do go out to different public health outreach programs, and they will have a table and talk to the ladies there. We do mostly support groups. We do network events. We just did a pre-Valentine's Day event, and the reason why I do it before Valentine's is because sometimes you think you're in love, you want to be in love, you want to get the candy and the flowers, but not knowing somewhere down the road this person might be abusive.
Right.
We do health and healing workshops because it's not just domestic violence. How do you heal from being in that type of relationship? Family violence, I'm starting to speak on that a little bit more now.
When you say family violence, what are you talking about?
Sometimes when you have, I just had last year we had a male panel, and one of the guys said that his mother used to talk down to him and hurt him to the core, to the point that he can't even have a real effective relationship with a woman without hurting her. Family violence, sometimes the mothers or the parents don't even know that you're hurting your children in the midst of something that you probably learned.
Right.
So we discuss learned behaviors, so then you got siblings that will fight one another, all that. You got young ladies or young men who've been molested by a family member in the house. And sometimes we hold on to that because that stigma of what goes on in my house stays in my house.
Right.
And you just hold on to it, not knowing that it affects you later on in your life. Family violence.
I mean, that's powerful. In my research for this show, I learned about abuse even with elders, older people. I learned about abuse with teenagers, Does your organization address those types?
Yes, we do. We have teen bullying. We also have an organization that come out and speak to the youth about teen dating.
Right.
Teen dating relationships. So the senior piece yet, I did not get to that piece yet, but that is in the process because, yes, seniors do get abused as well. And we want to address the whole, all around the board, so that way nobody feels left out. We even have something on the LGBTQ community. They also get abused. So we just had something on that. The senior piece, that's in the making. So stand by, I got you.
Wow, I mean, can you talk more about the warning signs?
Well,
I mean, when you think you're in love,
right.
and it could be something else. It could be somebody just trying to control you. Oh, I love you. That's why I do this. Or, I love you. If you just wouldn't, make me. Or I just, what's love and what's just trying to control?
Well,
Oh,
Wow, the warning signs, one of the greatest ones is somebody constantly calling you.
Blowing
what
up
you
your
doing?
phone.
Yeah,
Yes.
blowing up. Where you at? And then hear people in the background and think you somewhere else and constantly accusing you and blaming you and let me see, I'm trying to remember, because that's something that I went through as well. The jealousy piece, the
Oh, yeah.
isolation piece,
Yes.
keeping you away from your family members, keeping you away from your friends, telling you your friend ain't nothing, you don't need to be around this person, and keeping you isolated. Ooh, Lord, the control factor. Don't want you to wear certain clothes. That don't look right on you. So when you decide to even want to, and it start affecting you mentally, because if you see the shirt and I don't like that shirt, don't wear that shirt no more. When I go to pull it out, to put it on, I'm going to remember what my boyfriend or husband said. Don't wear that shirt. So what did I do? Put it to the side. Don't wear the shirt.
Well, you're wearing a beautiful shirt today.
Thank you.
Purple is the color of royalty.
Yes, absolutely.
WAPW, y'all. Why don't you show the camera? Where can you get this shirt if it's possible?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of my logos, and let me see. Make sure you see it. This is our logo. So basically, one of the ladies is a fighter, one of the ladies is a survivor, the other lady is a defender. She's a queen, and the other one is a hero. So they could definitely go online on my website, and they could request
And what's that website?
On Twitter is at...
Why don't you tell the audience? All these millions of people looking at you.
So it's at We Are Phenomenal One. Once again, that's at We Are Phenomenal Woman. One. So in the back also I have against domestic violence.
Get that, y'all. Awesome.
Yes.
And I mentioned that purple is the color of royalty.
Yes.
I know that's why you chose that color?
Of course, that's one of the reasons why, but purple is also the domestic violence color as well.
Okay. So you bring in awareness in all its...
Yes, and I want the ladies to understand that you are a phenomenal woman.
Can you say that again?
You are a phenomenal
Because
woman.
sometimes we tend to forget that in the midst of all our ups and downs, our going through stuff, you know, our traumas, just in every day, that we are a phenomenal woman.
That's right.
Wow. Sherneice, I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, and I know your organization is going to go to heights it's never seen.
Thank you so much.
And as we start to close out the show, which we're going to have to do in a few minutes, we're going to have a part 2, don't worry.
Okay.
But as we start to close out the show, I want to thank the cast. Want to thank the staff of Bronxnet. I want to thank Miss Sherneice.
Yes.
And I also want to introduce, as we close out the show, I thought it would be kind of nice to close out the show with some spoken word.
Nice.
You know, just to remind us just how beautiful and how powerful we is.
That's right.
So be that as it may, Miss Paula Ralph Birkett, spoken word artist, artists all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that you? No, is that you? Nah. Yes, it is you. Wow. Forgive me for being awestruck, thunderstruck at seeing you. You, so beautiful, so bright. For real, I thought you gave in. Could have sworn you let the darkness get into your mind. Could have sworn you let the darkness pilfer all of your time. 'Cause you allowed it to come in, clueless of all its crimes. But now, wow, look at you now. Forgive me for being so at a loss for words, because I remember the time when darkness fell on you so hard that you hid your smile, though it lit up a room. You denied your style, though you had yet to bloom. You rejected your joy, though it gave you strength. Rejected all that you had, knowing that you could do more in what you were. But still, something in you rekindled. Something in you took hold. Maybe you got tired of feeling like dirt, tired of rebuffing your worth, tired of refuting the immutable fact that love gives the advantage. Yes, love gives without damage. Love gives all. Hey, maybe that's why I saw you. Yeah, as I looked in the mirror and stepped in the light, there you were, reflecting self-respect, so beautiful, so bright. And I see you. Yes, I see you walking in undeniable truth, each step stabilized in the proof. I am still here and things will change. I see you flaunting confidence and courage and learning to be brave, knowing that success is on the other side of doing it afraid. I see you planting seeds of dignity and harvesting sweet fruit, knowing how you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. I see you dancing and laughing and illuminating your life, knowing despite this crucible, you are so beautiful, so bright.